Price or power to the PlayStation Indies PSN sale. I've got great news for you. I've gone through this sale for you and I found some really amazing games at huge discounts. So if you like the idea of finding cool new games to play and saving a lot of money along the way, then you're in the right place. Don't forget to subscribe. You're welcome here anytime. Okay, this sale ends on the 25th of February, so that'll be your last day to pick up these deals. Let's look at the games. First up, we have Archetype Arcadia. It was released in 2023, so it's 3 years old, and it's on a 75% discount for the price of £6.24, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a pretty great deal, as this edition includes both the PS4 and the PS5 versions, so you're getting both of them, which is great. This visual novel is set in a post-apocalyptic world ravaged by a disease that wiped out most of humanity, and the only treatment lies in spending time within a virtual gaming world. But after your sister goes unresponsive, you must search the game world for a cure before it's too late. Now, visual novels aren't for everyone. They're pretty niche because there's a lot of reading involved, so if you're not a fan of that, then you'll probably get bored or not enjoy it too much. But the stories in these games are usually really good, and they can really pull you in and get you really interested if it's the sort of story you enjoy. Also, they're usually pretty expensive, so it's nice to see some on decent discounts and getting a bit cheaper than normal, which is good. So if you love games with really good stories, and you're interested in this one with a really cool sci-fi apocalyptic story, then you'll probably have a lot of fun with this. This is a game for people who love story above anything else, and if that's you, you'll probably have a lot of fun, so why not pick it up if you like the look of it. And hey, if you never played a visual novel before, then you could start here. A lot of them are pretty expensive, and generally you should go for one that you like the theme of or the story. So if this one piques your interest, then why not check it out? It's a pretty good deal, especially for this genre. But if not, don't worry, there's plenty more games for you to choose from in this sale and future videos as well. Blacktail is our next game. It was released in 2022, so it's 4 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £4.99, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really great deal. Now this game is a PS5 only game, so if you don't have one, you won't be able to play it. In this action-adventure, you get to forge the legend of Baba Yaga, as a young girl is accused of witchcraft and banished. But when her memories return as foul-walking spirits, you must hunt them to unravel your own mystery. It features a unique archery and magic combat system, and generally just seems like a pretty interesting game. This game is based heavily on Slavic mythology, so it's pretty cool and interesting, as you get to explore the mythology of a group of people that is probably not well known globally. So that's pretty cool. You get to explore a nice culture with some really cool mythology. Plus the combat system seems pretty cool and unique as well. Having a bow and arrow based combat system, especially in first person, is really different, and I think it'll be very unique. I think it'll make a really cool experience. So if you're a fan of Slavic mythology, or just a fan of action games and you want something a bit different with some cool mythology, then why not check this game out? It's a really cool and interesting game, and I think a lot of people will really enjoy it if they pick it up. And hey, if you never played an action-adventure game before, then you could start here. It looks pretty cool and interesting, and it's not too expensive. Pretty much I'd say go for it if you like the idea of the mythology. But if not, you'll have plenty more options in this genre in other videos instead. So don't forget to subscribe, and then you won't miss them when they're on sale next. We have a blast from the past next, Bubsy in the Perfect Collection. It was released in 2025, so it's only 1 year old, but the games are much older than that really, and I mean a lot older. And it's on a 75% discount for the price of £3.99, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a pretty good deal considering how many games you get. Now, this collection is only for PS5, so if you don't have a PS5 you can't play it, which I think is a bit of a mistake because these games could run on a potato. So why they didn't just release it for PS4 as well, I don't know. Why lose customer base for no reason? It don't make sense to me. These games are a bunch of 2D and 3D platformers, and this collection includes the Mega Drive, Super Nintendo, and Japanese versions of Bubsy, plus also the Mega Drive, Super Nintendo, and Game Boy versions of Bubsy 2. Plus you even get the Jaguar exclusive game Bubsy and Fractured Fairy Tales, which I think is really cool because most people have probably never played that. I mean, Jaguar was a pretty niche console back then. And finally, you get the PS1 game Bubsy 3D, which a lot of people probably never played either. I had a PS1 and I didn't even know it existed. I thought it ended at Mega Drive, to be honest. Plus, this game features behind-the-scenes interviews and content as well. So if you're a fan of the series, there'd be a load of really cool content in this that you'll probably find very interesting. Now, these games are mostly old retro platformers. Bubsy back in the day was kind of like a Sonic competitor, but I don't think really took off as much. I mean, everyone knew it, but I just don't remember it being that popular in general. So hey, if you're a fan of retro games and you're a big fan of Bubsy, then why not check this out? You do get pretty much all of the games made for it at a really good price. Plus, if you're a fan of retro games in general, you'll probably enjoy this package as well. At this price, you can't go far wrong. Why not check it out if you like the look of these retro games? And hey, if you never played a 2D or 3D platform before, then I'm not sure I'd recommend starting here. The old games are pretty good, but the modern 3D one, not so much. I'd pretty much only recommend this if you're a fan of Bubsy, and if you're just a fan of retro games, there are a lot more games that are better than this that you can pick up about the same price or even cheaper on some sales, so you're better off starting with them if you're not a fan of Bubsy. But don't worry, I got you covered. Don't forget to subscribe, and then you won't miss the other options in future videos. I love this next game, Flippin' Death. It was released in 2018, so it's 8 years old, and is on a 90% discount for the low price of £1.59, which is a really great deal for a really cool game. In this puzzle platformer, you play as Penny, who dies under mysterious circumstances, but wakes up to find you are now Death himself, and now you must flip between the world of the living and the dead, solving puzzles to unravel the mystery of your own demise. Now this game is made by a company that made a load of games I really enjoy. I've played a lot of them and they're really good puzzle games. I own this game myself and I completed it, and it's a really good game. There's a lot of fun humour to it, and the story and puzzles are really good. If you're a fan of 2D platformers or just puzzle games in general, you'll really enjoy this. It's a really good quality game from a company that has real good pedigree in this sort of thing, and it's really cheap as well. You can't go far wrong really. You know how much I love puzzle games, so if you like these sorts of games as well and you haven't played it, trust me, pick this up. It's well worth your money. You'll love it. And hey, if you never played a puzzle platformer before, then you could definitely start here. It's such a good quality game with a really funny theme to it, and generally it's just quality. So if you've always been tempted by this genre, or you want to try something a bit different, why not take a look at this game? At this price you can't go far wrong. It's a really good deal. We have a VR game next, Ghost Giant. It was released in 2019, so it's 6 years old, and it's on a 90% discount for the price of £1.99, which is a really good deal for a really cool VR game. Now this VR adventure is for PSVR 1 only, and it requires move controllers, so if you don't have them, you can't play it, which is really good. This sort of game benefits from them, and it makes it so much better to play. In this game, you get to help the citizens of Sandcourt Village solve their quirky problems by manipulating the diorama world around you, with a story written by acclaimed writer Sarah B. Elfgren. Now I own this game and I've completed it, and I really enjoyed it. It may not be the best story around, but the gameplay is really cool and the diorama worlds are really good. There's a lot of detail to them, and manipulating the world opens up different areas within different areas within different areas. It's really cool and fun, and I really enjoyed the game. If I could dig up some footage of it, I'll include the gameplay because I'm pretty sure I recorded some. But generally it's just a really good fun VR adventure. So if you're a fan of these sorts of VR games and you've got a PSVR 1 with move controllers, definitely take a look at this. It's a really good game for a really good price. I think you'll have a lot of fun if you like this sort of thing. And hey, if you never played a VR adventure before, then you could definitely start here. It's really good, it's really fun, anyone can enjoy it really. Pretty much the only reason I'd say not to pick this up is if you're not a fan of the story, or you don't like the idea of the puzzle environment where you get to explore and unravel the puzzle with your physical movements and manipulation of the world. But in that case, then I don't know why you've got VR. Either way, it's a good option. If you're tempted, pick it up. But if not, there will be other options for you in future videos instead. We have an RTS next, Golem Gates. It was released in 2019, so it's 7 years old, and it's on a 90% discount for the low price of £1.99, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really good deal for a really cool looking game. This game is set in a post-apocalyptic world, where Earth is ravaged by an ancient war, and is now besieged by otherworldly forces pouring through the Golem Gates, and only the Harbinger can stand against them and protect Earth. It features 4-player local multiplayer as well. So if you like games to play with friends, family, or at parties, then this might be the sort of game for you. RTS is pretty niche, but I think that's cool and different and unique. So if you find that interesting, you'll definitely want to check this game out. Now, I really like RTS games, and generally you see more of them on PC than you do on console, so it's nice to see some coming to console, and especially ones with different themes and ideas. This seems like it's got a pretty cool story, and it seems like a pretty cool game in general. There's not a massive amount of RTSs to choose from on console, and this looks like one that's pretty different and unique, which is really cool. So if you're a fan of RTS and you like the look of this one, why not take a look at it? It looks really different and interesting to me, and I think fans of this genre will probably really enjoy it if they give it a chance. So if you're tempted, why not check it out? It might just be the best game you've played in a long time. And hey, if you never played an RTS before, then you could definitely start here. It's a pretty good game at a really low price, and you can't ask for much more really. If you've always wanted to try an RTS, or you're particularly tempted by this game, then definitely check it out. It's a really great deal, and I don't think you can go far wrong with it. We have an old school game next, Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom. It was released in 2018, so it's 8 years old, and it's on a 75% discount for the price of £8.24, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and it's not too bad a price at all, as this edition includes both the PS4 and the PS5 versions, which is great. This adventure platformer is a sequel to an old series made with the original creator Ryuichi Nishizawa. Jin must fight to save the kingdom by defeating challenging enemies and bosses. It features 6 monster forms to turn into, plus RPG elements and a soundtrack by iconic composers. Now, even though this is a sequel to a previous game, the previous game was out decades ago, so most people probably don't even know about the first game. So generally, I think most people would consider it independent of that, which isn't bad. It's a really good, high-quality, modern retro game with really cool graphics. I mean, look at the art style. It looks hand-drawn and anime-styled, and it's just really great. And I really like these sorts of old-school 2D platform adventure games. They're really cool, and it kind of reminds me of Kid Chameleon on the Mega Drive, if you remember that. That was a really cool game, and I think this one looks really good as well. So if you're a fan of retro games, especially 2D platformers and adventure games, then you'll probably really enjoy this. It's not that cheap right now, but it is a pretty good deal. So if you're tempted, why not check it out? I think it's a really good quality game for a pretty good price. And hey, if you've never played an adventure platformer before, then I wouldn't recommend starting here. It's a really good modern game with retro sort of gameplay, but it's not that cheap right now. It's on a good discount, but the price is pretty steep. So you're probably better off starting with a different game instead. But don't worry, if you keep up with the videos, you'll have plenty more options in the future. We have a roguelike game next, Paper Cut Mansion. It was released in 2022, so it's 4 years old, and it's on at least a 90% discount for the low price of £1.59 or 79 pence with PS Plus, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really great deal. In this horror roguelike, you get to explore a papercraft mansion, floor by floor, as Toby, a police detective, as you seek to unravel the mystery of the mansion by collecting evidence over multiple runs to complete your evidence board, finally solving the puzzle and the mystery. Now, there's a lot of roguelike games around, but I really like the look of this one. The art style is really cool and unique. The papercraft mansion and graphics, I think, is really cool, and I really like the look of it. Plus, the idea of completing an investigation in a roguelike setting is pretty unique and cool. Gathering the evidence over the different runs gives you that extra incentive to play more runs, and it'll probably make it more interesting in general. So if you're a fan of roguelikes and horror games, and you like the idea of this really cool little game, then definitely check it out. I think it's very different, and I think a lot of people that like this sort of game will really enjoy it. So why not check it out if you like the sound of it? And hey, if you've never played a roguelike horror game before, then you could definitely start here. I think it's really cool and different, and more importantly, it's really cheap. It's a really good deal, and I think you're getting a lot of game for your money. So if you've always been tempted by this genre, or you just like the look of this game, then why not pick this game up? I think it's a really good deal, and you can't go far wrong with this one. I really like the look of this next game, Unusual Findings. It was released in 2022, so it's 4 years old, and it's on a 75% discount for the price of £3.99, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really great deal for a really cool looking game. This point-and-click adventure follows 3 friends who accidentally receive a distress call from a crashing alien ship, so they set out on the adventure of a lifetime to investigate the alien invasion. It features a friend system, which changes your relationship based on your selections and the story choices, and it also has multiple storylines and endings as well, making your choices matter even more, and giving you reasons to play through it for the different endings and stories. Plus, it's got a ton of 80s nostalgia as well. Pretty much this is Stranger Things, the alien investigation game, and it's based on a load of old 80s inspiration, which is very open about, and it's great. If you grew up in the 80s or the 90s, then you'll probably really enjoy this game. It's got a lot of pop culture references, and it's based on a lot of very famous movies and series and stories that are famous for a reason, because they're really good. So if you're a fan of point-and-click adventures, and you like retro games, or especially the 80s and 90s, you'll probably love this game. Point-and-click adventures aren't always for everyone. Sometimes the puzzles can be a bit obtuse, or not make too much logical sense. But hey, this game looks like a really modern version of the genre, and it just looks really good. So if you're tempted and you're a fan of this genre, why not check it out? Especially if you're into the retro stuff, I think you'll have a great time with this one. And hey, if you never played a point-and-click adventure before, then you could start here, especially if you're into the 80s or 90s and the retro sort of theme into this one, then I think you'll have a really good time with this one. But in general, I say when you look at point-and-click adventures, you should pick them based on their story or theming. So if you're not into this sort of 80s nostalgia, then there are other options for you, and some of them are cheaper than this as well. So if you're into this one, check it out. But if not, don't worry, there'll be plenty more options for you in future videos instead. And the final game I have for you is my star buy, Wavetale. It was released in 2022, so it's 4 years old, and it's on at least a 90% discount for the low price of £2.49 or £1.24 with PS Plus, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really low price for a really good quality looking game. In this action-adventure game, after you meet a mysterious shadow, you are gifted with the ability to walk and ride on water as you set out to explore a decaying archipelago as you fight to save the islands from monstrous enemies. Now, this is a really retro sort of game. It's based on that golden age of action-adventure games back in the day that you've seen in the 90s, like Zelda, Star Fox Adventures, or pretty much most of the Mario games, or things like Jak and Daxter. Now, this is an indie game, so don't expect the same massive budget that those games had, but hey, the art style looks really cool, the mechanics of riding on water and navigating the world seems really cool, the world in general seems really interesting, with it archipelago based and water based. I just find that really interesting and different from the usual mountains and cliffs. So hey, if you're like me and you like retro action adventure games, this looks like a really good quality game that's really modern, and more importantly it's really cheap. My gut feeling says it's an amazing game, and a lot of people will really enjoy it if they give it a chance. Like I said, it's my star buy, definitely check it out. It's well worth your time and money, I promise. And hey, if you never played an action-adventure game before, then you could definitely start here. It's a really good modern game for a really low price. It's such a good deal that if you're tempted at all, you should look at it. But don't worry, if this isn't your sort of thing, there'll be plenty more options for you to choose from in future videos instead. So don't forget to subscribe, and then you won't miss out on your future options. And that's all the games I have for the PlayStation Indies PSN sale. What did you think of the games I picked? Did I pick good games or did I pick bad games? And what about the star buy? Did it deserve it? Or should some other game have got it instead? Leave all your comments below and we could talk about it later. Anyway, I hope you found some really cool games to play, but more importantly, I hope you saved a lot of money. I'll see you guys in the next sale. Au revoir.